My name is Phil Bowers. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Grandstream Networks. Always excited to pair up with Wave and to do some webinars and talk to the Wave audience. So really excited that you're all here with us today. So today we have a pretty cool little topic. We've definitely covered parts of this in the past, but always new information, more information to pass along. So the topic of today's webinar is how to expand your Wi-Fi business with Grandstream. It's actually working. I like working with the Wave audience because it's a little bit different traditionally than our traditional audience. Where we really, Grandstream comes from our background, and everything we're known for is from the unified communications side of things. So we're one of the top 4 or 5, top 3 or 4 IP phone manufacturers in the world. We've been making IP phones for about 20 years. So that's traditionally what everybody knows us for, and our kind of traditional reseller audience is the VoIP audience. Whereas so with that audience, usually we're saying if you sell VoIP, this is why you should also sell Wi-Fi, because it's a perfect add-on to what you're doing. And here today, it's a little bit of the opposite. A lot of you come from the Wi-Fi and the networking side of things. We have a great portfolio that we've built up over the last couple of years of Wi-Fi access points, management systems, and because we are Grandstream, we also have this whole portfolio of Wi-Fi enabled endpoints, IP phones, voice and video phones, video conferencing, intercom and paging devices. So today, what I'm here to show you, we're going to begin by talking about our Wi-Fi solutions. And then I'm going to show you how, with Grandstream, you can expand your networking business and go above and beyond providing traditional networking solutions and actually move your customers or begin to introduce them to Wi-Fi unified communication solutions or Wi-Fi voice and video, actually deploying entire communication platforms through your Wi-Fi network. So we'll get there. I should have about 25 slides here today. Should be about a half-hour webinar, and then we'll have a question and answer at the end. So without further ado, let's get going. So before I go into all of our, we'll obviously move the topics will slightly adjust as we go along. Before I get into all of those Wi-Fi voice and video endpoints, we're going to start by just kind of telling you about our Wi-Fi networking solutions, why they're so great, what we offer, and why they're the perfect option for you and your customers. So it's been about 3 years now since we got into the Wi-Fi networking environment. We started out a couple of years ago with a handful of Wi-Fi access points, and over the last couple of years, we have really built out that portfolio. It has become, frankly, one of the largest expansions of Grandstream in our company history into this networking field. So obviously I'm going to tell you about all of our access points, but some of the, the four main reasons why we've seen such success in this field and why you should adopt or look at Grandstream for your networking needs is because we offer free management tools, which I'll go through, because we offer a very easy and streamlined installation process, because we offer a full portfolio of Wi-Fi access points, which I will go through later. And we also, through our management platform, various management platforms, and through the APs themselves, we offer pretty much everything that you're going to need in terms of real-time monitoring, alerts, and reports. So to just kind of quickly go through these, and we'll go through them a little bit more on subsequent slides. The free management is really the big thing that we have really gained a lot of traction within this industry on. As many of you know, traditionally, the management side of Wi-Fi access points or of any Wi-Fi solution usually was paid software, paid controller technology or hardware. Traditionally, it was paid and there were tiered based on how many access points, and it just made it way too complicated. It made the cost of the actual access points and really the cost of the whole ecosystem so much higher and more complicated, because you had to figure out these management platforms in which you could use and how many access points or how many networks you could deploy. We've solved that problem entirely. We offer a variety, actually now 3 different free management options for all of our access points. The first one, which I'll go into more detail on a subsequent slide, is GWN Cloud. That is our free, again, fully free cloud Wi-Fi management platform. As you see in the description there, there's no limit on the number of access points or networks that you can use with or set up with GWN Cloud. So it offers a fully scalable, centralized solution that even has a mobile app, which begins to walk into the installation, which I'll get into in a second. In addition to GWN Cloud, we have GWN Manager, which is GWN Cloud, is GWN Cloud, simply as on-premise software. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that. That's pretty new coming up. And we also have, as you see in the bottom left-hand corner, all of our access points. And this is one of the really unique features that we offer, especially for smaller deployments. All of our access points have free Wi-Fi controller technology software built right into it. So any Grandstream access point within the user interface of that product has a full controller built into it. And you can use one access point to control and manage. Depending on the AP, it's either 30 or 50 different other Grandstream access points all through the user interface of that one device. So we'll touch a little bit more on management later. In terms of easy installation, especially if you're using GWN Cloud or GWN Manager, which is currently in beta, we offer a free mobile app that allows you to install and add these APs back to your network, literally by just scanning the barcode on the access point through our app, and that will automatically send it back and configure it to the network that you are creating. We have a variety. We now are up to 6. It will soon be 8 different access points. Our access points offer great range, really great client support, great built-in security. We'll talk a little bit later on the variety of features we have that actually allow our devices to support and really facilitate roaming more than most access points do. That's a great feature, especially if you're looking to install a VoIP or a voice or video network over Wi-Fi. And then that built-in QoS into the access points, which really allows them to be ideal for Wi-Fi voice and video endpoints. I'm going to cover more on QoS later. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the real-time monitoring alerts and reports. All of that's through the different management platforms, whether you use GWN Cloud, the cloud platform, GWN Manager, our on-premise software, or if you use the controller software built into each access point. Full platform of real-time monitoring alerts and reports that can be configured and automatically uploaded, automatically sent out on a certain schedule and whatnot. So it's kind of just a quick overview of our full portfolio. Do want to now kind of go through and give you an idea of the access points and a little bit more information on the management platforms before we go through and start talking about how to expand your Wi-Fi business with our Wi-Fi enabled endpoints. So what you see here is our current GWN series of Wi-Fi access points. The way that I set this slide up is essentially as you move to the right of the slide, the APs get more powerful. So essentially the more basic, kind of more streamlined access points are going to be on the left, and then all the way on the right there you see those outdoor, they're listed as outdoor long range. They are long range access points. But any of those outdoor access points, that just means they are weatherproof, but we see them deployed indoors as much as we do outdoors. So pretty much you see 6 different access points, 2 specifically that are really ideal long range access points. I want to start with and just kind of call a couple of them out here. The GWN 7602, the one all the way on the left, that is brand new. We just announced that a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, back in January. That is a kind of a really unique addition to our GWN series APs. It is a kind of a compact little access point that has a built-in Ethernet switch. So it's really great for hotels or small offices or home offices, able to give you up to 100-meter range, support up to 80 clients, but also to offer you the 3 Ethernet switch ports to connect a laptop, to connect your IP phone, to connect a a TV, smart TV, something like that. Moving there, the other new one that I will mention here that is new to our portfolio is the GWN 7630. Actually, no, excuse me, the GWN 7630 LR, which is all the way on the right. That's a new long-range access point. One of the things that you'll see across, it's the second line on all of these, is that, you know, the 2x2x2 or 3x3x3 or 4x4x4, those numbers and that MIMO stat essentially tells you how many different antennas, internal or external in the case of the 7630, are built into those devices, and MIMO technology allows all of those antennas to basically maximize the amount of signals they can send and receive at the same time. So it should usually, as you're kind of looking through here, the devices that are 4x4 MIMO, which is our 7630, 7630 LR. Those are what we call enterprise grade, as that is really the high end of our portfolio. As you see here, most of our devices, except for the two on the left, do support Wave 2 technology. Variety of different ranges. Traditionally, most of our devices, the standard devices are going to be 165, 175 meters. You see the long range guys go up to about 300 meters. Variety of support for different amount of clients, anywhere from 80 on the 7602 all the way up to 450 on the GWN 7600. And then the other thing mentioned there, with the exception of the 7602, all of these access points have that built-in controller technology that I mentioned earlier. So any of their user interfaces can be turned into controllers for either 30 or 50 other Grandstream Wi-Fi access points. So that's a quick overview of the whole GWN series of Wi-Fi APs, kind of a variety of different devices at a variety of different price points with a variety of different ranges, throughputs, and client support, really to, you know, allow you to pick the access point that is best for you. If you're looking for a small office, a small medium office, the three guys on the left there probably will offer you everything you need. If you're looking for, you know, something a little bit more than that to support a lot of different clients, to offer, you know, pretty quick speeds or wide ranges, the three guys on the right are traditionally the higher end of our GWN spectrum. All right, so I can tell already I'm taking a little bit longer than I should, so let's move on. Give you a quick little overview of the APs there. Next two slides, I'm going to give you just a quick, we covered GWN Cloud and GWN Manager, but just want to throw it up on the slide to, again, really reinforce these free management tools that we have. This is in addition, obviously, to the built-in controller software on these access points. So GWN Cloud, you can go to gwn.cloud to sign up for it. This is a fully free Wi-Fi management cloud controller. It's going to give you the ability to pretty much build enterprise networks with Grandstream access points, provides real-time access point and client monitoring, gives you reports, statistics, allows you the ability to set up real-time alerts. Really with GWN Cloud, it allows you to pretty much deploy an endless amount of access points and networks. As you see there, this is a fully free platform. There's no limits on the amount of access points that you can use your GWN Cloud account to manage. Again, just like I said, fully free. Enterprise grade management platform is going to give you all the reports, all the statistics, all of the alerts that you can set up, the ability to monitor it all in real time. Mentioned earlier that GWN Cloud has a mobile app available for it, which makes managing these devices even easier. Can be done centralized from anywhere you can get a web connection or from a mobile device running GWN Cloud. That mobile app also allows you to add access points to your network by just scanning the barcode on the back of the device. Again, fully free, no limit on the amount of access points. Go head on over to gwn.cloud to sign up for your free account, and it will always be free. So the one kind of new thing to mention here on the management side, which is probably new for everybody here, is we have just recently launched for beta what we're calling GWN Manager. GWN Manager takes all of the features and the functionality of GWN Cloud, and it packages it in an on-premise software that you can download for free. you can go to the link on the slide down there to download GWM Manager for free. As I mentioned, it's currently in beta. We're not, you know, if you are familiar with our beta process, this is a free and open beta. There's no need to apply for it or any restrictions or whatnot. If you have Grandstream GWM access points and you want to try out GWM Manager, go to that link, download the software. Again, fully free. Also, like GWM Cloud, no limit on the amount of access points. And otherwise, it gives you exactly what GWM Cloud gives you. All of the same features, functionality, reports, real-time monitoring, statistics, alerts, whatnot, streamlined configuration process, all through on-premise software rather than through the cloud. So if you would prefer on-premise platform rather than a cloud platform, GWM Manager is what you want. And again, just like GWM Cloud, it is completely free. Just to wrap up here, to wrap up the Wi-Fi access point side of things, I'm just gonna take a quick drink of water here. All right, appreciate it. So yeah, just to kind of, before we really begin to walk into and where I can show you how we can help you expand the Wi-Fi business that you, and the networking business that you're already doing. Always like to summarize this, so you know, kind of putting all the benefits of our access points management systems together. Free cloud and now on-premise management, real-time monitoring and alerts, that available mobile app to manage and install, some great industry-leading Wi-Fi speeds, range all the way up to 300 meters. We support, depending on the device, up to 450 clients per access point. And then kind of beginning to transition over to the next topic that we're going to talk about, that built-in QoS, which allows you to prioritize Wi-Fi traffic. And specifically where I'm using that here today is that allows you to prioritize voice and video traffic for your communications network. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Advanced client roaming support, which is especially important for the wireless Wi-Fi communication devices, smartphones, apps running on smartphones, or cordless Wi-Fi devices. If you're going to install a communications network over Wi-Fi, you're going to want to make sure that those wireless devices are easily able to kind of roam and transfer seamlessly from AP to AP. Usually client roaming is a function of the client itself, but we have built some features into our devices which allow them to facilitate that. We'll cover that towards the end of the webinar. So yeah, if you look over there on the right, Grandstream versus competitor A, free management options, four different options now. Free cloud, what else do we got? Through all of the different management platforms, network monitoring, network alerts. It's actually 6 different access points in our portfolio at the moment. Mentioned the MU-MIMO technology built into all of them, which allows all of their antennas, either internal or external, to simply just maximize the amount of signals they are both sending and receiving at the same time. The built-in controller technology, full support for mesh networks, and you know, we could go off on that. Built-in, what's the word that I'm looking for? Captive portal functionality as well. So that's kind of the initial, that is the introduction or the summary of our Wi-Fi access points and management systems. So now let's get into actually what is the main point of what I'm trying to get across here today. So if you're doing all of this Wi-Fi business, if you're, you know, traditionally in the networking field, and that's kind of where you come from, there is a really big thing that has begun to really make waves, I would say, over the last 2 to 3 years now within the industry. And that is what I'm going to call Wi-Fi voice and video today. It essentially is now installing and deploying entire business communication platforms simply using Wi-Fi enabled endpoints through a Wi-Fi network. So there you go, Wi-Fi voice and video. There's a lot of other different things that this has been called. I've seen VO Wi-Fi, voice over Wi-Fi. I've seen Wi-Fi UC. I've seen UC Wi-Fi. To make it simple, we're calling it Wi-Fi voice and video here. But it is essentially simply just extending, most businesses and really anyone that's putting in a new platform today for a business communication platform it really is going to want to do a SIP or an IP based. It is the most modern. It is the most scalable, the most powerful platform out there. The advantages of SIP or VoIP platforms over analog, I don't think I really need to go into. The cost savings, the more power, the future proof, the ability to scale these platforms, to introduce and integrate a wide variety of technologies and platforms. So what we're doing here is we're talking about those type of VoIP platforms, voice and video communication platforms, all being deployed through Wi-Fi networks, which has some tremendous benefits for business. First of all, eliminate a lot of the wiring, which is also great for new installations or for managing existing installations. Allows businesses to build truly wireless offices, which has become, frankly, a major green or environmentally friendly initiative for a lot of businesses. Cuts back on a lot of waste. It makes managing their solution much easier, because rather than have miles of cables that they have to manage and check, this whole network is just being deployed wirelessly. And through, I'll go again, more information on this later, but new platforms or new access points like our GWN series give you the ability to actually prioritize voice or video traffic, so that if somebody's playing Angry Birds on their phone and you're relying on your Wi-Fi network for communication, for your phone system or for video conferencing, that somebody playing Angry Birds isn't going to have any impact on somebody actually, trying to have a call or do a video conference. So really the point here is provides a major growth opportunity for Wi-Fi resellers and wireless internet service providers to expand your business, to go really it's a natural next step beyond simply selling the back-end networking, but now we're actually talking about selling communication platforms, communication solutions that are built with and integrated with that Wi-Fi network. Advantages of Wi-Fi voice and video, pretty much talked about most of this. First of all, it utilizes immersive Wi-Fi networks. And this is, we obviously know that a lot of businesses already have Wi-Fi networks put in place or need to put them in place. These solutions that we're talking about here today work with those, immersive Wi-Fi networks in order to make sure that a network or communication platform covers all ends of a business. It allows you to, really build out a communication network, or to build out a new communication network with the Wi-Fi network that you already have or that you're already going to need. It offers unprecedented mobility because of that, especially for use of, and we'll talk about this, any wireless communication device goes anywhere that the Wi-Fi network goes. It's really that simple. The installation through these wireless networks are wireless communication networks are so much easier, so much more streamlined. You don't have to run miles of wires all over an office. Things that are, often from what I see, often the root of any VoIP network issues in terms of networking is usually the wires, and this kind of eliminates all of that. Allows you to install or add phones, for example, for users by placing it on a desk and turning the Wi-Fi signal on, and that's pretty much it. Eco-friendly, we mentioned, because cutting back on a lot of waste and a lot of traditional hardware that is used in deployments, and streamlining the ongoing management because it's all done through the same wireless network. So here's just kind of a quick example of what we're talking about, and I'll go through these slides through some of these products on the next slide. Build a Wi-Fi communication, or build a communications network through Wi-Fi. If you're, especially if you're already working on the Wi-Fi networking side of things, selling Wi-Fi solutions, Wi-Fi networks to your customers, this is simply a very easy add-on to that allows you to expand your business and in all honesty, probably in some cases, double your sales by also going in this direction. These networks are pretty much as you see here, actually, I got a slide coming up for that later on. So I was going to give you a little bit more information on technically how they're set up. I got a slide coming up for that. But before we do that, I do want to give you, I want to go through the Wi-Fi enabled communication endpoints that we offer, both voice and video here. So I'm going to start in the top and go from left to right and then go across the bottom. Bear with me here for just 1 second. Just going to take a quick drink of water. All right. So every single device or series of devices that you see here on this screen has Wi-Fi, dual band Wi-Fi technology built right in. Doesn't require a dongle. It doesn't require any configuration. All of these devices have support dual band Wi-Fi right out of the box with nothing else needed. So our GRP series, these are our newer series. We call them carrier grade IP phones. These devices were launched just about 8 months ago, last summer. And these are our brand new series of desktop IP phones. It's a really, really sleek looking set. There are 6 or 7 different models in the current series, and all of them with one exception, the GRP 2612P, that is the only one within the GRP series that does not support Wi-Fi. So you can have a GRP 2612W supports Wi-Fi, GRP 2612 or 2613. That is a 3-line phone that supports Wi-Fi. The GRP 2614, which is the phone that you see here on the slide, that is a 4-line IP phone that has full Wi-Fi support. And then there are 2 models above the 2614, the 2615, which is a 5-line phone, and the 2616, which is a 6-line phone. All of those have built-in Wi-Fi support. So these are, I was about to call this a traditional desktop IP phone, but frankly, it's much more than that. It's really we're calling it a next generation desktop IP phone. Obviously, in addition to Wi-Fi, which is one of the best things about those devices, they have built-in Bluetooth. Some models, like you see here, have 2 LCD screens, actually, the 2616 also, which allows you to just kind of set up speed dial or BLF contacts or have a dedicated page on the phone for that. What else? The entire line shares the exact same firmware, which makes managing and deploying those a lot easier. You don't have to deal with different firmware versions for different phones. You've got one series here that goes from 2 all the way up to 6 lines and gives you Wi-Fi on pretty much all of them, built-in Bluetooth, variety of other, really high-end features to build out an entire Wi-Fi based communication platform with these great desktop IP phones, which are extremely cost effective as well. Obviously, everything we do here at Grandstream, one of the, kind of the common themes is that we pride ourselves in building products on pretty much across the board that offer this more features, more functionality than our competitors do at a lower price point. So that's the GRP series. In the middle there is our GXV series of Android IP video phones. My opinion, those are they are the most unique, in my opinion, the coolest IP phones out there on the market. We have had this series of Android-based IP video phones out. It is now in its 3rd generation. The 3380, which is what you see on the screen there, has has an 8-inch touchscreen. We also have a GXV 3350, which is going to give you a 5-inch touchscreen and a bunch of hard keys, and the GXV 3370, which has a 7-inch screen. So it's basically the model you see here with just a little bit of a smaller screen. All of those devices run open Android, meaning that you have full access to the Google Play Store, can download any of those Google or Android apps. You can sync with Google services like Gmail and anything along those lines, Google Calendar. And all of these models have built-in dual band Wi-Fi. Moving to the right, and this is the WP series is something that you're going to see us talk a lot about, especially within these Wi-Fi deployments that we're talking about here. Currently, we have the WP820, which is fully available for purchase. The WP820 is the one in the middle. Within the next couple of months, you're going to see 2 additional models, the WP810, which is a little bit more simple version on the right, and the WP850, which is essentially a smartphone. Not essentially, it is a smartphone. It is a ruggedized, really high-end Wi-Fi based, we're calling it a mobile computing device, has a barcode scanner built into it. It's drop safe from like 2 meters, waterproof, weatherproof, all that. Really designed for logistics, for warehousing, for construction sites, for any of those, really high-end, vertical focused Wi-Fi telephony or Wi-Fi telephony deployments. There you go. So what I probably should have done is give you an idea of this series. WP series are all cordless or wireless Wi-Fi IP phones. Obviously, one of the best things about building these Wi-Fi enable or these communications networks through Wi-Fi is the range and the roaming that it offers. And these devices really allow you to take advantage of that. They are great for businesses of any size. We have the WPA10 all the way on the right. It's a pretty simple, cost-effective model that you'll see announced, I believe, in April. The WPA20, pretty much the standard mid-tier model right in the middle. And then the WP850, which again is more of a really high-end version because it's ruggedized, has the barcode scanner, drop safe, waterproof, weatherproof, all of that. I will mention that WP820 does have 4G or 3G, 4G LTE backup built into it. So those are great options for building wireless networks, or excuse me, for building a wireless voice network within a building or deploying that. Allowing somebody that might be moving around facility quite a lot to just put this wireless phone on their desk or on their belt or carry it around with them and be reached from anywhere. All right, so I'm 1:32. Just did a quick time check. Sorry, I'm going a little bit longer than I expected. So we'll move things along here. We're definitely making really good progress. So quickly to go across the ones on the bottom, GAC 2500, that is a conference phone. That is a conference room voice phone that has full Wi-Fi, dual band Wi-Fi built into it based on Android. As you see here, a lot of our voice and video conferencing devices are Android-based devices, which is really cool because it gives you all of the power and the functionality of everything that's great about Google and the Android ecosystem of apps and services. Our GVC 3210, that is a Wi-Fi based video conferencing device. It actually supports up to 4K video resolutions and is able to do it all through Wi-Fi. The GSC series of intercom and public address speakers, that was something we announced in the fall of last year. These are, simply put, there are 2 devices. One is a 2-way speaker. We're calling it a 2-way intercom speaker, and the other device is just a 1-way speaker, so we call that a public address speaker. Both of those devices have built-in Wi-Fi, so you can put in place an intercom or a public address network. That's all done through Wi-Fi. Somebody who makes announcements or needs to set a page can pick up their Wi-Fi enabled phone on their desk or their Wi-Fi enabled cordless phone, dial an extension, and that will turn it in, dial the extension of these GSC devices, have an intercom conversation, make a page, provide an announcement, whatnot. Last thing that we have here is our Grandstream Wave soft phone app. This is a free soft phone app for Android and for iOS. It turns any smartphone into up to a 6-line IP phone. It's a free app. To be honest, we have clients that have deployed entire wireless networks or wireless communication networks for businesses, simply utilizing Grandstream Wave running on everybody's smartphone, for example. So really, really simple, obviously kind of relies on the whole BYO, bring your own device trend, but it is a great little solution. So all of these devices that you see here on the screen, and there'll be more that we'll be rolling out this year, are all Wi-Fi enabled endpoints, which allow you to put in place voice and video communications platforms using these devices through your Wi-Fi network. All right, and this is what I was looking for earlier. Just to give you an idea of how easy this is to set up. Usually there's a question about, is there something special I have to do to kind of configure the two sides? There's not. Literally all you have to do is put, in this example, you're seeing our own UCM series IP-PBX, or frankly, any IP-PBX you might be using, or your hosted platform, or whatever, whatever your unified communications platform is being run on. All you need to do is put that and your access points on the same network, and the two will automatically sync up, and you'll be able to extend those SIP accounts out to these devices simply through the Wi-Fi network. One thing that I want to mention here before I move on, just to kind of give you an idea, because I'm sure there's always the question of, how can we, have you tested this? How many concurrent calls can it support? Does it not? How many concurrent calls, for example, can you support with one of your access points without lowering the speeds offered to all the other clients that are connected to it? And through our own testing, and this was actually done over a year ago, we found that with one of our access points, any one of our access points can support up to 19 concurrent HD calls without impacting the speeds offered or the speeds experienced by other client devices, smartphones, computers, whatnot. And those are HD calls, so that's at pretty much the full bandwidth requirement. To compare that to other, actually I'll leave that alone, but that just gives you an idea of what we're talking about. And that's one access point. Obviously most networks are going to have, or most businesses have, a bunch of different access points spread out, with people spread out throughout an office. So just to give you an idea here, our own testing has shown that one of our access points can support up to 19 full HD calls from these endpoints that we're talking about here without even beginning to impact the speeds that it is offering to other client devices, computers, laptops, smartphones, etc. One cool little thing that I'm going to cover here, should be able to wrap up here within the next 4 or 5 minutes. Do apologize for going a little bit longer than expected. One of the great things, kind of combining a lot of different initiatives and a lot of different products that we offer here at Grandstream, is this Wi-Fi facility access solution that is being kind of visually demonstrated here on this page. So we have our GDS series of facility access solutions, the door cameras. One device that has a camera and one device that's just an audio device without a camera. They all have RFID and PIN code access and all that. These devices do not support Wi-Fi. However, by kind of setting up a little bit of a solution, you create the ability within a business, within a school, within a retail store, within a warehouse, to have full control of these devices all through Wi-Fi. So this device, the GDS door camera, would be an extension on a PBX or a hosted platform, which is then on the same network as your Wi-Fi access points. Then using like the WPA20 that you see here on the picture, or a variety of the other different desktop devices that I showed you, you actually have the ability to receive calls from the GDS when somebody arrives, through Wi-Fi, see on the phone screen who it is, have the ability to talk with them, and then actually be able, as you see in the picture there, to push a soft key to actually open the door. This functionality works with all the products you see here, all of our Grandstream related solutions, right out of the box. Nothing you have to do to set that up. So this is a great little solution for a school, for a warehouse, for an office, to go beyond just the Wi-Fi voice and video calling, but here to also allow you to set up a little Wi-Fi facility access solution as well. All right, I'm going to go through the deployment examples really quickly here. I only have a couple, but we've touched on most of these. So basically what you're just going to see here is deploying the SIP service out through the Wi-Fi network to users throughout the facility with their Wi-Fi enabled desktop phones or cordless phones or the intercom and paging solutions, or anybody that might be running Grandstream Wave on their mobile app. All of this is simply just being deployed wirelessly. The SIP service being integrated. In this example, we always like to talk about our UCM series of IP PBXs. One of the best IP PBXs out there, to be completely honest with you. You could get a full unified communication platform for, I believe the retail price of our 6202, UCM 6202 is $399. So go find another device out there that allows you to build out a up to 500 person voice and video network simply through for a one-time $399 purchase. Probably doesn't really exist. But in this case, you're integrating that UCM or whatever your SIP service is with those devices, obviously through switches and whatnot, to extend the SIP accounts wirelessly to the devices throughout the building. One thing that I want to mention real fast here, and then I'll move on to begin to wrap up here. One kind of little niche use of or great use of the UCM and our PBX and pairing it here with our access points and with these endpoints is our UCM offers zero config. That is a process that allows the device to automatically provision and configure all the devices, all the Grandstream devices you set up or that you connect to it. You can allow that to do it on its own. You can provide a set of extension ranges or just kind of let it do its own thing. And we have customers that are using these access points actually just initially to do that zero config process just through Wi-Fi, so that they don't have to obviously connect everything individually or go to each endpoint specifically. So it's another cool little use of this device, or another cool use of this whole platform, is to allow these, not only to create the ability to make voice and video calls through Wi-Fi, but also to configure them, to zero configure them automatically very quickly. Enterprise, obviously same type of thing, just on a larger scale. Where retail and warehouses, this is a really good example here. Education is another good example. Places where it's hard to, or might not be advantageous to, run wires all over the place that have individual kiosks or rooms all over the place that need to be added back onto the network. And here you can do it just by getting some of these Wi-Fi enabled endpoints, connecting them back to the communications network through your your Wi-Fi access points. All right, last couple of slides, then we'll wrap up, I promise. I do apologize for going a couple of minutes here longer than I had expected to. So let's finish up here. Usually by the time I get to this point, there's some questions or some comments about somebody saying something along the lines of, technically you could have always done this. Technically, this is not exactly new technology that you can deploy SIP accounts out through Wi-Fi. That is true. However, there traditionally have been two major problems with doing so. Actually, three. The third one here would be security, and I'm not even going to really cover that so much, other than to say that all of our access points have, really enterprise-grade security built in, and that QoS, which I'm going to talk about. So traditionally, the problem with these types of solutions I told you about is that they have poor voice quality and that they have poor roaming throughout a facility. We have solved those with a couple of features and functionalities that we have built into our GWN series of Wi-Fi access points. The first and the most important one, and really the main reason why these devices are so great, our devices specifically are so great for creating these Wi-Fi voice and video networks, is because we've built QoS, quality of service, into the access points. This is traditionally a feature that you're going to find in pretty much most IP phones, video conferencing solutions, whatnot. what QoS in the access points allows you to do is to actually go in and prioritize the types of connections, the types of packets that you want the access points to really focus on or prioritize, or when there's a lot of usage, a lot of resource, or excuse me, a lot of heavy traffic going through the device. What do you want it to prioritize? And if you're going to install voice or video communications network through Wi-Fi, you're going to want to make sure, especially for a business, that those voice calls are always going to be able to get through, that they're always going to be of the utmost quality. Same thing might go for a video conference that would be running through Wi-Fi. And that's what our GWN series allows you to do. There's nothing you have to do to set this up. It's in there by default. It's a field within the user interface, and you just have to go through and essentially have to go in there and basically just kind of click and choose what you want to prioritize if you want to use this feature. But if you're going to set up a voice and video network through Wi-Fi, definitely recommend using QoS. Prioritize those voice packets or prioritize those video packets. Although, as I mentioned earlier, our own testing shows that you can get up to 19 full HD calls on most of our access points without actually impacting any of the other client devices. However, obviously for larger businesses or for mission critical voice networks, definitely going to want to use that QoS to prioritize. Two features that we've also built into our access points to kind of help them play a more active role in roaming decisions. So roaming is usually a decision of the client, the computer or the wireless device or the smartphone you're using. And through two different features, one, Wi-Fi Voice Enterprise that you see here, we allow our GWN series to play an active role in client roaming decisions to ensure seamless roaming. So what Wi-Fi Voice Enterprise does is it provides a constant list, or provides the client a constantly updated list of nearby access points on the network and their info. So this allows the device to know where all the access points are, to proactively make sure that it actually switches the roaming seamlessly from one to the next. And we have a variety of different resellers that I could provide as references who have tested this feature, who have found that one of the best features of our APs, especially when using with our WP, the cordless Wi-Fi devices, there is no noticeable roaming period. It is immediate switchover, not even a click that you would hear on that. So that's Wi-Fi Voice Enterprise, providing the client a list of nearby access points and their info so it knows where everything is and can easily switch. Then we move on to that other feature, PMK Caching, stands for Pairwise Master Key, which basically eliminates the need to re-verify and exchange authentication when roaming to a new AP on the same network. So not only does the client know what other APs are out there, but through PMK caching, it doesn't need to re-authenticate with each one on the same network. And then opportunistic key caching actually sends a copy of that, the list of the authentication process for all of the access points. Yeah, so that actually takes the other, OKC takes it the other way, where it takes the information from the client and provides it to the other access points. So really kind of a two-pronged or three-pronged process there to make sure that there is a seamless roaming process with all of our devices when using the GWN series APs. All right, that's it. I do apologize for taking about 20 minutes longer than I had thought here today. I guess you could say got a little bit excited and found a couple of additional things that were worth going into once we started the webinar. So do apologize for the little bit of extra time there. Hopefully everybody found it valuable. And now with that, we'll turn it over to Angela for any questions that may have come up during the webinar.
Thank you, Phil. Yes, there are a few questions that came through. One of the first questions that came through was earlier in your presentation. They were asking about the controller built-in. Is there a controller built-in on the GWN 7602?
The 7602 is the only GWN access point that does not have the controller built into it. All of the other access points, the 5 other access points, all have the controller built into it. 7602, only one that doesn't.
Okay. They were also asking here, will the GWN 7000 router ever be set up to work with the GWN cloud?
So there's definitely, the answer is yes, it will. There's I guess for full transparency, on our side, we've been in the process of kind of re-examining the development of the GWN 7000 to try. It's essentially cloud will support at some point in time the router. The future, I guess what I'm saying here is the future of us coming out with additional routers is kind of something that's up for discussion at the moment. All of our APs will work with pretty much any third-party router as well. So yes, though it does not work, the router does not work with cloud now, there is a plan long-term, hopefully this year, to support that.
Thank you. The next question is, all of the management options are free. Are there any plans to change that in the future, or will they remain free?
Yeah, no, there is no plan to change that at any point in time. To be honest with you, from the manufacturer's standpoint, that has been, those free management options are one of the best competitive advantages that we have at the moment. It has been one of the things that has really helped us gain a lot of traction within this field. There is no plan at all. All of these management platforms, the cloud, the controller, or excuse me, the on-premise software, and the controller will always be free. There is no plan to change that.
Awesome. All right, and we'll end it with one more question. For deploying phones, video conferencing, and similar endpoints over Wi-Fi, is there any special or different configuration process needed?
No, not at all. You would be configuring the devices through the, in some, I guess, selfishly, hopefully using a UCM series IP PBX, but if not, another PBX or a hosted platform. Same exact setup process as usual, and that those packets would just be sent out through the Wi-Fi network to the devices so that you don't have to touch each device individually. And as I mentioned earlier, kind of a selfish little plug here, but our UCM series of PBXs gives you that zero config where literally you can click a button and allow the device to automatically provision every Grandstream device connected to it. That will work through Wi-Fi as well. So no special or different process needed than usual.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, Phil, for doing the presentation and everyone that attended. If there are any questions that didn't get answered or that arise after, please go ahead and reach out to us at StreakWave or Grandstream, and we'll be gladly help you to answer those. Again, thank you. Have a great day.